so I didn't care. I mean, because I was teaching in a vintage guitar shop, I just didn't care about vintage guitars. I played all the 59 Les Pauls and all the 50 Strats, and it was like, most of them are horrible.
Last question, what's the one guitar you wish you never sold?
The 54 Strat. No, I have to let you know, this was not a pristine piece, right? It's not like Joe Bonamassa would never even open the case, knowing what it was. So it was a 54 Strat with maybe questionable pickups in it, like maybe they were from 55, oh my God, or 56, you know, a collector would hate that. Somebody had refinished the entire guitar, and you know what a sunburst looks like. Well, this was, let's call it a avocado sunburst. It was someone's idea of using greens instead of browns and oranges and reds to create this thing. So everyone who walked into the store would go, oh my God, what a sin against nature to finish a 54 Stratocaster in this sort of, I loved it. I just thought it was great. And then they also tinted the neck. So it had a slight gold tint, you know, amber colored to the finish. But this guitar sounded so sweet and the pickups were so weak that it had this extra ambience. You know, the more power in the pickups, the less ambience you get, and the more string pull, the more difficult it is for the guitar to sound in tune. Because the magnets in the pickups are literally pulling the strings and restricting them from vibrating. They do send out a lot more volume. But when you have these weak single coil pickups, they really do record everything that's happening, not only on the string, but all the ambience around the string. And that's why it can sound like, when you play it, it sounds like something's actually happening, you know, picking up on it, on those things. And a couple of notes on the guitar would always just go into natural feedback. It was uncanny.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Didn't stay in tune too well. I mean, it was an old Strat, you know, they're pretty funky, but I wish I hadn't sold it.
How long ago did you sell it?
I was, well, let me think, 81 maybe. I was building guitars for this band I was in, so I needed funds to buy more guitar parts to build my own Stratocasters with humbuckers in them. And so I didn't care. I mean, because I was teaching in a vintage guitar shop, I just didn't care about vintage guitars. I played all the 59 Les Pauls and all the 50 Strats, and it was like, most of them are horrible. But the people who bought them were wealthy foreigners who would come in, who would just buy them because they were American and they were old, and they never play them. And it
Sounds familiar though, right?
Yeah, it turned me off to the whole vintage market, and I said, I'm just going to build brand new guitars, and it's all about the fingers and the music.
It's crazy. You've heard of Gruen guitars out in Nashville,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So I collect old guitar magazines, so I go to the classifieds to read them. Back in like 82 Guitar Player, you see the Gruen ad, and they're begging you to consider, just please consider vintage gear from the 70s at that point. So you're only talking 10 years prior, they're calling it vintage, and they're saying it plays just as good as new, and you'll save a bunch of money.
Wow.
Again, they were onto a little bit earlier before everybody else was, right? That's like, you gotta be kidding me.
That's
Nuts.
a great shop. I bought a guitar there. I think it was a 59 Les Paul Special. Yeah, it was a great guitar.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great, huh? It's a total great store to go to. Them and Carter's has some good stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild finds there. But anyway, I gotta thank you for doing this. We went way over, I think, the time limit, I think, and I want to just appreciate you doing this,
Thank
your
you.
entire crew, for their patience. Where can everybody follow and keep up to date with you?
Oh yeah, Satriani.com, and then just, you know, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, and whatever else is out there. I'm easy to find.
And for the artwork, right? It's all
For
on
the
there,
artwork,
too.
Wentworth Gallery.
Okay.
And yeah, they're all on the East Coast, but of course you can just go to Wentworth Gallery online.
There it is. You guys, thank you again to Joesatriani. You can follow me at Masters of Shred on Instagram and check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to it. Of course, follow Monsters of Rock Cruise, where we are shooting this from live. And you can follow me personally at Mr. Shred Official. Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for some more Talking Shred, and give it up for the mighty Joesatriani.
Yeah, I did it. I did Mr. Shred, yeah.
That didn't sound right, but that worked.